Hello, this is the Lumpy Bumper coming at you with a League of Legends informational video. This one on how to salvage a top lane if you find yourself getting behind. This is taken from a recent ranked game of mine containing everyone from gold to diamond elo. This is because we were doing our placement matches. There's a little bit of a MMR, not reset, but soft change, and so a number of different divisions are here. I'm going to talk about, one, why I get behind, what mistakes I make, what are not mistakes, what are consequences of the matchup, how you can avoid those, and then what you can do to get yourself back into the game. Looking at my choices during this game, analyzing what I did incorrect and why it was incorrect, what I did right, why it was right, what I could be doing right, and why you should be doing those things too. Not all of these are hard and fast rules. Many of these are moves that have pros and cons. Sometimes you're in a position where you could do one of two things, both of which may be beneficial in their own respective ways. But you should be cognizant of how each move helps you so that you can alter the way you play to maximize the benefit you receive. And that move may have unique downsides that you have to hedge against when you make that play. So first, I want to look at, as the game enters, what's going on. So firstly, you see the enemy team, the red team, invading our jungle here. They have a blitz, they could do that kind of thing. We catch vision of them. I'm not sure where. I do remember us seeing them, though. I think someone caught vision of them, or maybe a Zillion bomb was tossing here and we saw some people. I'm going to unpause it. Yeah, we see wards go down here, and so we know they're in here, pinging them out. She picks now to do stuff, but anyway, seeing this, I come up here because I want to be able to drag the first couple minions of this wave into this bush, meaning the wave will push against me, meaning that it's easy. It will eventually push to my turret, and I can last hit it there a little safer than if the lane were in the middle here, which is what I want against Quinn. Because the Quinn-Zac matchup is very abusive in favor of Quinn, and I want to try and minimize the extent to which I am punished by her range advantage as much as I can. They throw a hook here, he flashes out. This is good for red team, luckily no one's killed. So as minions approach, normally I would be getting wards here, but because of seeing them there, I want to be here ahead of time to hopefully force Quinn to TP. Now, her TPing here is when I should immediately back off. This is a mistake I make, because that minion is held up, bunching up the melee minions, meaning her wave is going to push slightly harder than mine. Meaning on the second or third wave, the minion wave will be about here, meaning it's a lot safer for me to exist in this zone, harder for her to damage me. Instead, I move forward, blindly trying to execute the pull I've already started, and that means that when she gets here, she's able to put more damage onto me. I immediately come in, or she immediately teleports in with the Harrier mark on me, meaning she gets a free empowered auto, is able to E, get another one. That's 2 empowered autos she had against me when if I hadn't done that, I would have only had 1. I also go for this minion too, which is a mistake. 1, because I go for it with my ability, which damages this minion and makes her push a little harder, but 2, because she's able to put on so much harass onto me. I'm at nearly a third life, she's at full, and the second minion wave is only now hitting. So fortunately for me, this is pushing hard in my favor, meaning it will be under turret and I can pick up all the XP safely, but it's terrible in that I am basically forced out of this lane. I've already had the pot up, meaning that if she dives me, I can't use it. I am mostly safe from the dive because of my passive, but it's something I don't want her to be able to proc for free, so I should be holding onto that pot and saving it for her all in. The one saving grace here is I have TP and she doesn't because she TP'd to lane here, so hopefully what this means, and I'm just going to get this scoreboard out of here in a second, because I don't really need it for our purposes. Yeah, I go up for another last hit here and take a whole bunch of damage. This is what you do not want to be doing if you're in this position. I walk up for the blob there, she could have chose to auto me. What you do not want to be doing in this position is going up for these last hits. It sucks to not be able to get the gold, but you're still going to get the XP, and you're going to be taking a hell of a lot less damage, which is the prime consideration here. She takes 2 turret shots here, and me walking up for that blob almost kills my passive, but chunks her down even farther, right? So this is where I throw the lane. I'm about to hit level 2 off the turrets killing the next, or level 3 on the turrets killing the next minion, and I run Thunderlord Zac. So when I leap, WQ auto bursts for 200 damage about at this level. It depends on runes and masteries. I don't think she's running much magic resistance. She might be, but I didn't check her runes or masteries. So I decide to kill her. If I can kill her here, it will be a massive benefit for me, because I can pick up all of these minions, this coming wave, and then TP back to lane, and she's not going to have it. If I can kill her here, this would be a massive sway. It is risky, but I make the decision to do it. I jump, WQ, and I don't get the auto, so I die. She last hits me perfectly, 1 auto for each of the blobs. Stuff goes on bot lane, but it's not important for us. And boom, she picks up, not the first blood, the second blood. This is awful. This is a terrible lane. I'm down over 11 CS, over 10 CS. All I can buy is a cloth armor because I've only gotten 7. And I choose not to TP to lane, I choose to walk back to lane. Okay, so when you're in this position, you have 2 options, TP to lane or walk, obviously. What are the pros and cons of each? The pro of TPing up here, this lane is pushing towards her. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of my minions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of hers. This is going to be pushing towards her. If I were to TP up, there is no way I could get anything more than this wave and part of this wave, because Quinn is going to get here shortly after this wave. I would only be able to get some of these by the time she arrives. So even if I slow push this, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 minions, and then it would be frozen about here, because she is strong enough to poke me away from a minion wave and keep it frozen here almost indefinitely. She can just purely last hit and everything else save to poke me when I go out for CS, because I have to get right up into the minion wave. So if I TP up, short term it's good because I get these minions and a few of those, but long term it's very, very bad. It creates a state in which the lane is frozen here. Instead, I opt to walk up, meaning we're going to get here at about the same time. Why is this advantageous? It means I lose out on these, which is not advantageous. But the reason it is good is because the wave will still roughly be frozen here with roughly equal minions when we arrive. The reason that's good is because when she harasses me, my minions aggro onto her. If it's roughly even minion wave size, that will start to undo the minor free she has here and start to push back in my favor. That's what I'm going for, and that's why I don't TP. Because then it creates a lane state in which it is probably around here, which is much safer for me than if it's around here, because Vi is the enemy team's jungler, and I don't have passive. It is very hard for me to leap away from a Vi who ganks, because if she flash Q, she can interrupt my escape, making me burn flash. So basically, if the lane is here and I see Vi, even for a split second, I have to flash instantly. And she still has flash, and so does Quinn, so she could still flash Q me anyway. And because I don't have passive, this is dangerous. So I don't opt to TP so that the lane state will equalize in a safer position. So we'll see if that pans out. I'm going to speed it up slightly to breeze past this bit. So yeah, this lane is slow pushing in her favor, but I'm hoping that when she starts hitting me, that it'll go. So I see her late to lane. Yeah, pause. In fact, I'm going to go back. So I'm going for a lane state in which the lane equalizes here, right? I don't know why it shows her here. Yeah, she shows here for a second, right? And then goes back around and puts a ward down here. The reason she does this is because she recognizes that if she doesn't do anything, this wave is going to push this way. I'm banking on her trying to harass me and that causing my minions to go walk over this way and for it to start slow pushing back in my favor. Or maybe I just miscounted the way minions work, and sometimes I do that. I'm not the smartest. But she recognizes that the consequence of her not touching anything will leave the wave here, or whether I like it or not. So she opts to go around here. She's smart to put a ward down. Me seeing her back off, I say screw it, and I kill all these as fast as I can to try and push it into tower so that I can roam down here to mid lane. Because Nunu is pushed up against this Annie. Vi is topside, but she hasn't backed yet, right? It's 4:30 in the game. Vi has not shown on the map. I'm a jungle main. I know that that means she has gone for the hard farming route in which she hasn't backed yet. This is not the case. She is just very behind, and I didn't know this, but in my mind at the time, I pushed these as quickly as I could. My game gets a little glitchy whenever I hit backspace, but yeah, maybe she's gonna be here. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, so she takes a detour, she sees the lane state, she puts the ward down. I see her late to lane because she didn't get there when I got there. she should have gotten to lane before me, or if not at the same time. So I pushed this, hoping to get into tower, but the minion wave comes and stops that from happening. So she sets up her freeze here. So I decide to walk down here to see if I can get a gank off onto Nunu. However, before I get there, a Mumu ganks and kills him. So I can't participate there, so I figure, you know what, I have some on my trinket, I'm going to see where Vi is. So I put this ward down, I scout this camp, and then I start walking back to top lane. So what did I gain off of this? I lost an extra wave of experience here. As you can see, these minions have already died. She retains her freeze here, but these are going to start dying to turret, meaning the wave is going to start equalizing. What I gain is this ward here and vision here of these two camps. Why this is beneficial is because this is a ranked game in the dynamic queue. The support and I, the Zilean, and I are on Skype together. So I say, hey, Vi is not topside. I've warded here, so if she comes in for Krugs, which I hadn't been able to scout, we'll see her. Once these pop up, we will know that only after those pop up will she start going back topside. So I type in chat that Vi will be bot side until either we see her here or this camp comes up. That's good because she cleared this just before I got in there, meaning that for the next however long it takes until this respawns, which I think is 1.5 minutes for these guys, but it might be 2 minutes. I would have to check that, to be honest. It's a shame I don't know that. We are safe. Why is this good? This is a lane in which Caitlyn and Zilean are already forced to play defensively, so they haven't been able to ward up here. With the added knowledge, they know that if they don't advance beyond this part of the lane here, they will be purely safe from Vi's ganks. It's good for Annie, because already she has the push advantage on Nunu, who only has single target damage for the minions, and has to rely upon auto attacks and his consumes to push the wave, and she has kill pressure on Nunu. So this is a lane Annie wants to push. I think Vi is counting and wants the pressure. I think Vi is counting on that and wants to make some ganks happen here. Because of what I did over here, and what I typed to her in chat, she knows that she can push and hug this side of the lane, right? Because Vi can only come from here, she can only basically come from here to here until this camp comes up. Because until this camp comes up, she will not be topside. There's no reason for her to do that. That'd be wildly inefficient. So Annie just has to hug this bit as she pushes, and she is very safe. You can either run topside or run back this way, and she will be safe. That is a benefit I gained for 2 of my other lanes, or at least just mid lane, because these guys are pushed in anyway. So at least one other lane was directly benefited by my actions. I also know that Vi will not be topside ganking me until that camp comes up, which is good, but I'm already planning on playing super safe anyway, so it isn't going to change anything too much. I trade all of that for 1 wave of XP. It puts me a little behind, but I personally think it's worth it. If you're behind in lane and you know that you are going to be useless for a while, do as much as you can to help your allies as you possibly can. That is huge. Seeing her minions bunch up here, this lane is going to push back towards me, especially with her last hitting, so I know I can take this extra CS here, providing a little more vision, and we'll still get up here in time to catch all this XP. I might miss 1 or 2, but I get Scuttle Crab, so I think it's worth it. Yep, I get XP on that. She instantly, though, pushes up on me. She's level up, and she's way stronger than I am. She recognizes that she can't let me passively sit here and soak XP, and she has to push me out of XP range. I missed a couple minions because of that, and that is exactly what Quinn wants to be doing. So I'm just sitting here. I miss XP on that one as well. I'm just like petrified, and you can see this in the way I am posturing this lane. It's very defensive. I'm a jungle main who is outclassed, not only in champion pick, but in summoner skill. This is a diamond Quinn player. I am a platinum jungler. I am out of my element, and I know that, and I'm playing like it, and she's abusing that, which is exactly what she should be doing. So now that she's 6, she can start doing what Quinn really wants to do. Either using her ult for burst on me and chunking me out of lane, or pushing this in and using ult to roam, which is another thing she can be doing. We recognize that her being 6 means she's going to want to do these things, and because this lane is pushing this way, this is the only time a Mumu has to gank her over this wall. Because while I'm 4, she is going to be looking to chunk me out and put serious damage onto this tower. I'm going to let this play out so you can see what happens. She's doing her best to chunk me down. This is a really awkward angle for a Mumu. She is not walking up here, partly because of the minion wave, partly because this is an intelligent Quinn player, and she knows she can't be doing this. Meanwhile, we see Vi circling around here, both these guys level 5, just as minions are hitting tower. I'm super low, I do have passive, so I won't die instantly. Everyone has flash, and we will see what happens. So this wave hits tower. I charge up my E. This is an awkward angle, but Amumu does manage to hit the bandage cost. He hits 6 off of the minions here. I flash out immediately when I see Vi flash Q onto me. One, I don't want to give her the added DPS of putting extra damage on me, but two, I super do not want to die. I very strongly do not want to die, because a second kill onto Quinn or Vi, just a second death onto me, will seal my fate in this game. I would rather flash out and have nothing happen here than have their lead get even farther ahead. In fact, I'm going to even slow this down so we can see what happens. So Amumu will kill Quinn. She backs up with her E. He flashes up to her. She flashes away just as he E's. That would be a dead Quinn. She scouts just to make sure nothing else goes wrong. We start backing out because even though we're 6 and 5, Vi will probably be able to kill us, and at least until our cooldowns are back up. But Amumu hits this, this Amumu is playing out of his mind right now. He hits the bandage toss, and he's roaming up. Vi starts to leave. I cancel her Q with my leap. Quinn puts enough damage on Amumu to make sure that she won't die, but we kill the Vi. Awesome. I'm back in this game. I've got a kill. I'm still, though, half Quinn CS and underleveled. I'm not back in this game, realistically. I'm just not entirely losing. Nunu late followed Annie's roam and kills her on the way back. I come down to help, but I am too late, and she dies. And he, with his Wind Speaker's Thunderlord's Mastery, just runs away, and I can do nothing. So that is one advantage we do have out of the mid lane. Because Annie has push power over Nunu, she is able to roam way faster than he does. He's going to be late to these roams. Unfortunately, we forgot about that, and she pathed back through river, knowing that it was likely warded and that Nunu was not in mid lane anymore. She died because of it, so it was a mistake. But overall, I think it was a good play for us because we put Vi behind, which is good because we already have a winning jungle matchup, and we have me, who's not feeding anymore, which is awesome. Now, I choose to buy Dead Man's Plate. Sunfire would not be a good choice in this situation because it would make it even harder for me to last hit under a tower, and last hitting under a tower is really the only thing I can do right now still, so I don't want to make that any harder for myself, and the added mobility is going to help me get onto the map and make plays, which is really all you can do if you can't make plays in lane, which is my reality here. So I'm going for the Dead Man's Plate. I'm sitting here until I see Quinn and figure out what she's doing, because I don't want to walk out here and get myself chunked out. I can just sit here and soak XP, and that's fine. And even if this melee minion here dies, that cannon minion is a huge tank, and so I will still be able to last hit that most likely. It's not going to die anytime soon.
Shut down.
I'm a little late on realizing that Quinn has TP'd out of lane, which I should have noticed, and that tells me that I can freeze this lane. This is a huge lane, and she TP'd out of lane to get bot, meaning she's going to have to go base, ult, and run the lane. And sure, she's Quinn, she can do that fast, but she can't do that fast enough to make this not worth my time. So I freeze this huge-ass wave, which is exactly what I need. This is perfect. This is a miracle for me. So I'm doing damage to these creeps, but I missed that one because I'm not the best. But I do know how many I need to freeze this lane, and so I'm going to do that as best I can. I have the red minions in a bit of an arc here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 blue minions left. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red minions. This, if I stop using abilities, will be a maintained freeze just about here. Because I can maintain this arc and maintain the difference in numbers, I can just sit here and farm this all day. However, Quinn knows this. Once again, she's a smart player. So she jumps in, and she AoEs with her ult all these minions, pushing this into lane and forcing me to miss a couple. I'm happy about Zach's sustain. Yeah, look, Quinn took 3 turret shots. This is one thing this Quinn has been doing very poorly, is not taking turret hits. Me going up for that blob, she jumps in, chunks me out even lower. And that is why you never give up during loading screen, or once you check op.gg and figure out what someone's rank is, because she is great at playing aggressively and abusing me in lane, but she does that by walking the razor's edge, and sometimes when you walk that fine of a line, your toe slips over the edge and you fuck up, and she did just there. This is one of the second thing that is getting me back into this game. The first was getting the kill on Vi. The second is this moment here, because even though she pops my passive, I'm going to be playing like a pussy anyway because of this game state. That's not going to change by me losing my passive. But what this does change is I get XP off her death and she gets nothing out of this, meaning I am way closer. And though this is pushing here, I'm getting this full cannon wave of XP. She's not getting this either. And then after I do this, I can roam mid to gank Nunu, which is something I want to do. Why? Because this wave is about to hit tower. Annie has stun. She's unlikely to use spells on these 3 minions because of her minion advantage. She's going to push into tower because Nunu can't push minions hard enough to keep them off of it. That he does not have any magic resist, so Annie still has kill pressure on him. It forces him to use consume on minions and therefore use mana, even though he does have blue. So this is going to hit turret, meaning the next wave is going to freeze just about here, meaning that I can come this way and pull a gank off. I don't remember what my path is exactly, but I think I push this wave and then walk this way, because people rarely, on purple side, ward their own try. They generally ward here or here, preventing the jungler from coming in here. They usually have a ward here, and I should correct that, either a pink here a lot of times or a ward in this area, which seals off the top jungle. Bot sides similarly do that with a ward here and a ward here, usually if you're blue side. Or if you're playing defensively, just one here, which is similar functionality from the bot lane's point of view. So I'm going to push this, I'm going to go gank mid. Awesome. I should speed this up in the meantime because I just walked through what I was planning on doing anyway. So, get this wave here. And now, as I'm roaming mid, this doesn't even look like a terrible... Yeah, pick up 2 waves. This doesn't even look like a terrible situation top lane anymore. Even though she's 3-1, I'm only 1-1. Remember, this is an execute. I did not get that kill on her. I just walk over this ward, so that's awkward. And they're pinging me out. So I come here. Okay, I will rewind this just so we see what starts happening mid. The reason I go for the more direct route is because I see this start happening. There's this big fight here, and if I can get there for it, to help pick up assists or pick up kills, that would be huge. So we start off by getting this kill onto Annie, but the Nunu manages to finish off our Annie, or we get the kill on the Vi. He flashes out, but I saved my jump so I can finish him off. Quinn is using her mobility to come down and counter gank, but in the meantime, I'm getting this wave of minions. Remember, I do have flash, so hopefully I can outplay. So I'm going to slow it down. As you can see in powered auto, I flash out, Mumu immediately banish tosses in. This is a bit of an anti-synergy because if I'd stayed in, maybe we could have gotten more damage onto her, or maybe she just kills me, so I'm not sure how I would play this. But again, she's taking turret shots for no reason. She's taken 1, 2, 3 turret shots, and I'm able to finish her off with my E again, and Mumu is able to flash out, so she does not get the kill. Now, I am back in this game. I'm going to pick up these minions here, tying us up on CS. We are both, I'm actually ahead in levels. I'm level 9, she's level 8. We're even in minions. This wave is going to push towards me, and I'm going to run top with my picked up Dead Man's Plate. So I'm going to be getting there when this big old wave is right about here, and I'm going to be back into this game. So to recap, what do you do when you're behind in lane? The first one is stop the bleeding, is do not give up any more kills to your enemy opponents. You don't need your lane bully, who is forcing you out of lane, to also be snowballing on you. That is a way to lose the game very quickly. Look at this huge wave I have. It's delicious, delicious, delicious. And the reason I don't freeze, by the way, is because I have TP, and Quinn does not. I want myself to be able to TP away from this lane and not lose a huge wave to tower. So I'm just picking up all the XP, and actually if I can start forcing this into tower, I start losing their team XP because Quinn is sitting here, not picking up anything, just looking for a roam. But with our lanes, bot lane's already dead and she didn't even participate. Mumu is here, so he's safe. Annie's playing back here, so she's not going to be getting anything off this. He comes here to share XP. Now, I'm level 10, Quinn's level 9. Vi is coming up here to pick up this wave, so good on you, Vi, for picking that up. But yeah, to recap, what do? 1, don't give up anything more. 2, if your lane is ever frozen, just leave and immediately try to get something done somewhere else. You saw when she had this freeze here, I ran mid to look for a gank. Because I'm Zac, I can gank really well. I ran into the jungle looking for either a camp I could take or vision and putting wards, telling people where the enemy Vi was. That's what you want to be doing. If the lane is ever frozen, don't sit there just getting XP and letting them chunk you out. You just extend the period of time in which you're useless. You have to leave your lane and look and make plays happen. Go into the jungle, get vision, tell your lanes where the enemy jungler is. I could have just been sitting here getting XP, or I could prevent Annie from dying over the next few minutes by warding this and getting vision on these camps and saying, yo, until you see this come back up, play over here. She's not going to die for the next couple minutes. That's 3 minion waves of safety from ganks, which is what Nunu needs in this lane, because Annie is always going to have kill pressure on him because of her kits. Of bot lane being safe from Vi ganking. And if Vi isn't ganking on the early game, then she's going to have trouble, right? If Quinn isn't actively snowballing and getting kills on me and then snowballing that advantage to the rest of the map, she's not going to win the game, because Zac can out-team fight a Quinn almost any day of the week. That's why lane bullies are only known as lane bullies, because their kits are designed or are better at bullying an enemy champion in a lane setting. They are not as good at being in team fights. If a champion was a lane bully and a good team fighter, they would be broken. That's why Poppy is ridiculously strong right now, because she can go toe-to-toe with you in lane and team fight very well. That's why she's must pick, must bang in competitive right now, basically. That's why she's very strong in solo queue. But if you roam and look to make plays on the map, look at these score lines: 2-1-1, 3-2-0. These are both fairly even players. Look at CS, I'm up on her by 7. Look at levels, I'm up on her by 11, by a whole level, right? This is where she killed me at like 3 minutes in, and she's Quinn into Zac. Look to make plays, all right? Don't sit here getting destroyed. Third thing, understand the minion waves. Be able to tell when looking at minions here whether it's going to push that way or this way. If it is pushing that way, and you're going to be getting to lane at the same time, understand that you will be frozen out if they so choose, and then use that time to roam. Your ability to roam is based upon your ability to look at a lane, see where it's going to wind up, and see when it winds up there what the champions are going to be doing. If a minion wave is going to be stuck here for the next 2 waves, you know you have a full minute to roam, get a gank off, or go into the jungle and get information. Use that information. And then, if you have TP, TP to lane after you do those things so you don't lose the huge wave they've built up to tower. So, for example, after she killed me, or after the second time I went back, and there was this big old freeze she had here, and I went over here to look for a gank, and then I went to the jungle, and then I walked back to lane here. The next time I was coming back to lane after the gank, there was a big wave here for Quinn pushing towards me, right? Or there was going to be. She had about equal minion waves, and she was going to get there first because she's Quinn. I know there's going to be a big wave crashing into my tower for in the next 30 seconds. Use that time to come get Scuttle, right? And then get back to lane, or gank somewhere and then TP back to lane, or go bot looking for a gank and then TP to lane. If you have your TP up and the lane's chilling here and they're bullying you, just go gank something, and then when the lane's going to hit turret, TP to it. Pick up all the XP and last hits. That kind of thinking is what's going to get you back into the lane. If you just sit here hoping to get gold and hoping to get experience and hoping maybe you'll outplay her under tower and get a lucky kill, maybe it'll luck out, but it's not going to give you the same results as being active on the map. Hopefully you find this helpful. If there's anything more you think I should go over, please let me know. Comments, like, favorite, and subscribe. Or actually don't, because my content is going to be very irregular and probably low quality, but I hope you learned something. And I know I did. This was fun to make. So let me know. Bye.